So, you know, like you could talk just about housewives, but you better figure that out. And if you're talking about housewives, you better do it in a certain way. People don't take to the housewife podcast, and the housewives aren't used to doing work. Like it requires some work. So they
That's
don't.
so, and it's like,
And then I'm
know,
not knocking them, but my listeners DM me night and day and say, this
over
one's
it.
bad, that one's bad. This one's relatively okay, but kind of bad. And so I don't know. I don't know. So I'm going to
It's
have to
kind of,
say, here's some tea. I'll
yeah.
spill some tea. I was on Vicky's podcast way back. It doesn't exist anymore, Vicky Gonfalson, and she was on mine. And when I was on hers, I've really never told this before. When I was on hers, like the producer reached out to me and he was like, so what do you want to cover on your show? Now I was doing another show with Vicky after, so I already prepared my show, and it was like, it shouldn't really be the same. Mine's going to be like the behind the velvet rope. Like I'm going to go over Vicky's background and I'm going to like come for her when I need to. But I'm like, but I'm coming on her show. So like, I don't understand. Like, what do you mean? Like, I mean, I'll talk about anything. Like,
Right.
you don't have a show for me that I'm coming on tomorrow. So I had to like executive produce my whole episode of me being on Vicky's show, and it ended up being really good. I'm like, I don't want to do the same thing. I'm like, let's deal with Vicky being fired because she was just fired. Let's do the 5 stages of grief, and I don't think Vicky's over it. And I could have told her this was coming, and like, let's talk about like the stages of Housewives before you get it, when you get it, during it, how to save your money. Like, guys, it's gonna. So, and Vicky like did a lot of things right. She saved money, and like it turned out to be a great show. But I literally produced the whole fucking thing.
Well,
Not
like
knocking,
you say, I guess they're not used to putting in the work. Maybe.
and not knocking Vicky because she was the host and she drove the bus and she was great. But it's just, you can't just show up and talk just because you're on a fucking housewife show. Nobody cares. They still love you on the show or not, but it doesn't translate. Like you have to do something totally different when people are in their car or working out. Just you being on the housewives is not enough. They'll love you on your respective season when you're fighting with Teresa or Erica, but they do not look at all the housewives spinoff shows that fail. They don't love you when they're coming over the airwaves. And so you got to work. But that's what happened with Vicky. And then after I was like, they called me and I was like, look, if I ever fail at this job, I could produce Vicky's show, but I mean, I need a salary and it's a full-time job. I don't have the time, but I mean, I could have gone in there and made her show a hit. And at one point she was like, how do I book guests? That's what she said to me. And I was like,
oh, Jesus.
I was like, you're Vicky Gunvalson. Like you just, hi, Lisa Vanderpump. Okay, maybe not Lisa, but like, you can reach out to anybody from certain worlds. They will respond to you. I don't understand. What do you mean? How do you book guests? No. Like, I don't get
like, sweetie, get an intern, call it a day. They don't know. Like it takes like a monkey could do this. Like, come on, stop.
So,
but you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of work, but I'm saying for someone like that, who's so well connected,
right.
High profile person, you know, it's not rocket science.
You got to make it a real job. And if you're doing it on the side, it doesn't work. And I haven't listened. I am not knocking at this podcast, but my listeners tell me night and day which ones they hate. And it's like, there's never really anything good that they DM me about, like, oh, this one's great.
You know what? And I'm going to hop on with your listeners and say, and I don't watch The Bachelor. So this isn't even a take it or leave it. This is just a leave it. Same thing goes for all the Bachelor shows. Like iHeart, all of these networks jerk off at the chance to have any Bachelor person have a podcast. And it's the same thing. It's like, you know, what is there to talk about? It's a little bit gluttonous at this point. It's like, we see your lives on these shows. We see them on reality TV. We see them on your social media. What possibly more could you talk about? Like, leave it to us. Just bow out, you know, do a cabaret show, do something else, like knock it off. No, enough. I've had it. You know, we gotta, you know, cap it off.
I agree. And I just want to say, because now, like, bringing it back on a positive note.
Yes.
I am most thankful for, I mean, listen, 2020 was like my first year and we exploded, but like 2021 was like, I guess, the breakout year, even though in a way last year was just as good. We had some great guests this year. I'm thankful for my listeners. And I'm not just saying that because really, I do not take any listener, like, until you come for me in like a stupid way and I tell you to go fuck yourself and never listen again. I don't give a fuck. It takes a lot for me to get to that point, which I get to with certain people, but the majority, 99% of the time, like, I love everyone who listens.
It is true. It's and I love your listeners. Like I said, they are awesome. They're dedicated. They seem like really cool people to me, and you're doing an amazing job. Doing amazing, sweetie, as Kris Jenner would say. But no, I get it as a podcaster too. I mean, this sounds kind of cheesy, but we're going to end on this positive note. It's literally why I get out of bed in the morning, because, you know, it's a way to connect with them, and they're dedicated and they want to hear what you have to say. And it's everything. It's literally why I get out of bed. So,
and this is what I'll add that with. I'm not going to quit anytime soon, but I can tell you, if there's ever a moment where I want to quit, it is the list, which is this is a sick statement. Like, I wouldn't quit because now there's a shitload of people depending on me. And that is not said with an ego. It's actually the opposite. Like, even if I was like, oh, I just want to go on and do something else with my life, which I'm not even close to being at that point, I wouldn't do it because I have all these people and the numbers are big that I would be like letting down. And I really feel that way. And that's not ego. It's the opposite. I was like, I could let myself down and just be like, get over it, David. One day I'm here, one day I'm not. Sorry, everyone. But I wouldn't do that because now I feel like the numbers are real and there's an actual real group of people that listen. And I would feel like I'm just letting these people down.
Woo, woo. No, and you will. And I have to say, not to like, you know, again, not to be cheesy, but I'm grateful to be here with you today, David, because, you know, we are like minded. Also, like, you're looking dapper. Like, you guys, if you're David, oh my God, he has the hair, he has the little chest out, he has like the shirt. Like, I am all for it.
Okay, this is called Hungover.
No, you can't tell. No, you can't tell. 3 martinis. You can't tell. He said no sleep. You can't tell. But in all seriousness, I'm so grateful to be doing this with you today because I love your presence and being with someone like-minded and who's a hustler and who's smart. And, you know,
listen,
you're the best.
You have a great show too. I mean, I'll come on again anytime you want.
Yes.
And by the way, before we plug your show, I'll say it again. 1 martini, totally not enough. 2 is the absolute right number of martinis that I should drink. And I usually drink 3. When I drink 4, which is possible, like I went out with Rachel Yucatel and Harry Dubin recently, I literally want to be dead the next day. So 4 equals death. Yeah. 3 is like, okay, focus, do your work. 1 too many, 2 is right, and 1 is just not enough. That's my martini review.
No, like,
but 3 is
like 3. You know what? 3 is Pete Davidson like level. We're just not. You know, we don't feel good about it. It's at that point. It's just like over the top desperado. 1 or 2. That's it. I'm a fun drunk. So when you are like, should you have a 3rd drink, and everyone at the table is having a 3rd one, you're like, well, maybe not everyone's drinking a martini, but that's my drink. So I will have another one with all these other wonderful people. And now I'm the one that's a little drunk. So there you go. Let's plug your show. But I really, in the new year, I'll come on anytime you want and you will come back here. They're great. So where can everybody find you? Yes, I would absolutely. 2022, you're going to come back, David. My listeners, your listeners, they have loved our collab on Cancel Me Baby. So Cancel Me Baby, guys, it is my show. It is a very unique, cutting edge pop culture show that just tells it how, I mean, if you've seen so far today, it just really, you know, talk about unpopular opinions. It just tells it how it is. And it says what we're all really actually thinking. It's like, God damn, thank God somebody is saying it. And like today, I bring in all of these experiences I've had in Hollywood with all these celebs. So it is, you know, it is unlike anything out there. Cancel Me Baby. It's on IGTV if you want to watch, YouTube, iHeart, Spotify, Apple, all the good ones, in good company with David's show too. Although I haven't done Patreon yet, but I've thought about it. We'll talk off air. That's a whole different animal. Love it. I mean, most of these people are on my Patreon, whole different animal. And there's like, you know, my show lends to it well because I do interviews and I never talk about myself. Yes, this talk here today is different. I do exceptions, but Patreon is where I can then dish my dirt that I know. Like this type of show that we just did would normally be on Patreon, but it's the holidays and I'm doing a holiday thing for the end of the year. But that's how it's like, you need a separation of like, what's the difference and why are people going there? That's why for me, because I never reveal anything about myself on the main show really, because it's all about interviews.
It's where I can be like, okay, you know what? I really fucking hate this one here, and I'm going to tell you all why. And it's behind a paid wall. So it's really like, not that it's not going to get out. I mean, but like, it's like a differentiation.
It's a little forbidden fruit. I love it.
I don't agree with only Patreon, like Kelly and Rick and Stassi. I don't believe in that model. And I don't think it's a smart business model because at the end of the day, the annoying ads that all these people don't like listening to, that is a better thing. And by the way, on Patreon, I have ad-free episodes every day now, but it's not about me. Everyone should listen to your show because you really do not give a shit and you say whatever the fuck you want to say and you don't care about being canceled.
Listen, someone's got to do it. So I'm happy to be that person and bring it into 2022. It is going down. Just getting started.
It's going to be amazing. Thank you. Where can everyone find you?
Find me, guys. It is most popping, and I will not be crying on there like Bella Hadid. Okay. But on Instagram is where you can find me. It's Talk to Me Taylor is where you can find me. So join the party. Let's go. It's going down.
Love it. Taylor, thank you. Everyone, love your show. Text me. Thank you for sharing almost 2 hours with us.
Oh my gosh, David, I always love hanging out with you, even though it's virtual. Happy holidays. It is such a pleasure. I mean it. The time goes by and you're a doll. You're a joy.
Happy holidays to you too. All right. Keep in touch. Thank you, everyone. Happy holidays. And we'll be back in 2022 and a little more for this year, guys. We have shows all rest of this week. So, all right. I'll talk to you later.
Bye, guys. Bye, David.
Bye.